Hi, I'm James Keller from Descendsion. I want to welcome you to the documentary titled In Plain Sight. It's going to be circled around the one song that I've waited so many years to record. Um, we're going to have testimony in this documentary about the people that walked in life with me around that time period of my life. A lot of speculation surrounding me for the past 15, 20 years regarding, am I faking? Am I lying? How is it that he doesn't look sick, but he walked with a cane? How is it that he miraculously stopped walking with a cane? All those questions will be answered for you in this documentary. But the main thing is the focus point on In Plain Sight and the people that actually backed me the entire time that I was walking this path. You see, I didn't do it alone. I know I say all the time how I walked alone and I was isolated alone. And that's exactly how it felt. But just like life, you always have those couple people that no matter what happens, they have your back. You're going to hear from some of those people today. I want you to sit back and relax as we take you behind the scenes of the making of the most important video of my life. And without all of you, this wouldn't be possible. So I want to just take the opportunity now, welcome you to this In Plain Sight documentary, welcome you to see behind the scenes as we shoot this music video. And also, I want you to enjoy the actual video. Just remember one thing, without you, there would not be me. I thank you very much and enjoy the show. Hi, we're Descendsion. Right now you're watching a documentary about the meaning behind In Plain Sight. You're going to hear different views from different people, different testimonies about the people that walk through my life along with that. We've said that before. The people that's doing the testimonies are speaking of their own free will through their heart. So whatever they're saying, they're saying. I'm not really sure exactly what they all said so far, but I can't remember all that. But right now, we're sitting here with Descendsion, and we're in the middle of filming In Plain Sight. We're about to go ahead. We did scenes all day. We've been working since 10 o'clock this morning. It's now 1:30. And we're looking to bring the best product possible to you. So I want to introduce everybody that's in the video. We got Gary on the drums over there, back there. Say what's up. Okay, thanks. We got Brian on the lead guitar. Yep. Brian Davies, that is. We got TJ McDivitt on the rhythm, and we got Aaron Glosser on the bass. He's in the back on the bass. So,
his bass ain't on him right now, but.
So, we just want to take this opportunity to thank you for giving us the time and the energy to watch this documentary, and we hope you truly enjoy what we're doing for you for the video. Anybody else want to say anything?
Thanks for watching.
That's a life story right there.
Hi, I'm Alan Smith. Everybody knows me as Big Al. I've known James for forever, it seems like. Was there with him before Descension. In fact, I was their first sound man. I remember when James started walking with the cane. All the health problems he had. And then everybody started in, said, no, he's faking it. It ain't real. Well, I couldn't believe that his so-called friends would even think, let alone say what they were thinking, that it wasn't real. I went back, I told him, just, how could they even think that someone who's never lied to them, never would lie to them, would say something that isn't true?
My name is Biggie Parker, and I'm here to set the record straight. 2004, I met a good friend of mine named James Keller. We worked together in Wellsburg Call Center for Civic Development Group. Immediately I noticed James because he was a young guy walking around with a cane. Immediately he befriended me, and I got close to him, let me know about his disease and why he had to walk with a cane, why he had seizures. Immediately, people around us, his so-called friends, came to me and said that how phony he was. He was a fake, he was a racist, he didn't care about people. Well, 11 years later, James Keller's still my best friend. So all those people out there that said that James Keller is a phony, he's a racist, the real story is, he cares about his community, he cares about his friends, He cares about his family. Nowhere has James Keller ever been a phony. He's a miracle. He should be treated as such. Everything he does for us, our community, James Keller should be praised for it, not tarnished. So my name is Biggie Parker, and I set the record straight.
Hi, I'm Jeff Tomes. I am the original drummer for Descendsion and co-founder with James Keller. We started Descendsion about 10 years ago because he had the itch, he wanted a band. But being that he had a cane, it's hard to get a band. We hear people would say they support him, but end of the day they didn't, because they'd come to a show, see him without the cane that he walked with during the day. I would hear multiple people just rag on him, tell him how he's a fake, how he's a phony, how he'll just never do anything. And you know, a lot of people don't realize that what you see in public, what you see in private is completely two different things. I've seen the public and I've seen the private version of him. And the private version is pretty scary, you know, talking and go into an episode and have to rush him to the hospital. Never let it stop him. You know, go to the hospital for a problem and that night come out for a show. Then comes a phone call that it can all be fixed with risky surgery. It was actually a scary time because you kind of say bye to your friend because you don't know if you're going to see him again. You know, so it's kind of like, how do you do that? How do you stay strong and give somebody the support that they need when inside you kind of want to bawl your eyes out? And so he had the surgery and took some time off and came back and just proved everybody wrong. But everybody found something else to complain about. And the sunglasses. Why wear sunglasses when you're on stage? What are you trying to be? I'm not trying to be anything. The lights, flashing of cameras, the strobe lights, you turn too fast and you have an episode. So we fix it with sunglasses. And if you watch some videos that you can find of us and somebody catches a quick flash, you can see him, you know, do a body movement where he has to catch his feeling. Many times he's turned around and held onto my drums trying to catch his footing and figure out which way is up. No longer in the band anymore. That doesn't mean I don't enjoy watching the success that he still has with it.
The downward spiral of my life started on February 22nd, the day my mother died. I searched for someone, and I searched for an answer, and I started feeling sick. I started walking around the town that I lived in. It was a small mill town, and just along with my own health, the town itself started suffering. I started being overgraded with drugs. People moving out. You know, people saying that this town wasn't worth living in anymore because the mill had shut down. We kind of walked hand in hand. And it was at that point that I started hearing the cries of the public about the overwhelming drug problem. So I started the Dare to Prevent. I started reaching out. I was in the battle of my life, and I took on one more battle, the battle of the citizens of the town I lived in. I did everything I could to shed light on a topic that was killing our children. At the same time, scared to death that I was going to die myself, while all around me, no one believed in what I was talking about. Nobody believed that I was sick. Nobody believed that my life was on the line. And all the while, I stood front lines, and I said no more, and I fought for our citizens. I kept my health out of the stories and out of the media, and then after perseverance, the media finally got a hold of me and wanted me to tell my story. That was the hardest thing to do ever, to talk about the hardest point of my life. But when I decided to, I wanted to make sure that it was going to impact somebody else. I wanted to make sure that epilepsy was going to be the centerfold of the story, and it's going to allow people to know that they do not have to give up. They do not have to surrender to their disease. What, in fact, tries to hold you down, you can jump over that hurdle. It's extremely important to me that everyone understands that In Plain Sight is exactly how I felt. I searched for a goal. Scott Stapp, from the lead singer of Creed, gave me a ring a year after my mom died and set me on a course that I wanted to chase. It was at that point, at that moment, where Scott reached down off a stage and handed me my ring, that I knew what I wanted to do. So I found my goal and I started to focus on my goal. And on June 24th of 2014, I accomplished my goal, and I opened for Creed. Well, Scott Stapp for Creed. It was the best day of my life. And to me, that pointed out that no one and nothing can stop you from what you want to do. Now, I can have people doubt me every day, and I can have people point and mock and laugh and everything, but they cannot take that day away from me. Never. But now it's about telling the story. It's about showing everyone exactly what In Plain Sight's all about. It's time to get to work. It's time to gather the masses. It's time to stand strong and stand united. I don't stand for myself. I never have. The fact is we're all in this world together. The process of making this video and making this documentary is not to say, oh, look at James, or oh, feel sorry for James. It's to tell the story of the decade that I walked alone, a decade that no one believed me, the decade that needed to be talked about but nobody wanted to listen. The fact of the matter is, this story that I'm telling you is from my heart. It's from my soul. It's who I am. And there's so many more of you out there that feel this way, that you have to understand you're not alone. Once people will take you as a joke, and then they'll take you as serious. But once they take you as serious, there's no looking back to the joke. You have to remember, you have to know who you are. Whether you believe in God or whether you don't, it doesn't matter. As long as you believe in yourself. For one, I believe in God. God brought me to where I'm at now. He made me understand that I was not alone, not once. When I thought I was alone, He carried me. As you can see, I had my parents. I had my friends. This is the way I look at life now. I look at a town suffering from drug addiction, and I reach out and I try to help, and together we've all gathered around and we're changing it as we speak. We're getting people clean every single day. After my brain surgery, I realized that I was put on this earth to suffer, only to teach. And this is why I'm telling the story. For the first time in over a decade, you are hearing the story not from somebody else, not from somebody else's words. You are hearing them from me. I am finally ready to tell you that I'm done hiding. Look at me. Pay attention. Take notes. Because what I can do, you can do even better. I want to thank you all so much for taking the time to care. Because sometimes in life, that's all that matters, as long as somebody cares. Guys, Descendsion was my dream, and now it's my reality.
Hi, my name is Kathy, and I've been with Descendsion since the beginning. I've been at the very first practice, and it's been a long road. It's been a long, amazing journey, and being here today and looking back at the beginning at all the struggles that they've been through, it's rough. I mean, very first practice, they're talking about what they want to become and what they want to do, and everybody just laughed, and we'll never get there, and just they struggled and they pushed through. And a couple of the shows where James was struggling with his personal issues and having to use a cane, and everybody never took him seriously, never, ever. And he'd have to tape the stage up so he wouldn't fall, and it's been a struggle, but you know what? They pushed through it, and that's where we are today. And 10 years later, it's been an amazing journey, and it's even going further. I love it, and I'm glad to be a part of the experience.
Hi, I'm Rachel Adel, and this video, In Plain Sight, means so much to me. I first actually met Descendsion and James when I went to the Scott Stapp show in Pittsburgh last June at Latitude 360, and I just, from the first moment that they stepped on stage, I just fell in love with them. and their video, In Plain Sight, just spoke to me because pretty much a few months after I went to the concert, I had this really big surgery, and I honestly forgot about Descendsion. Sorry about that, guys. But right after that, my ex broke up with me, and it was all bad and everything. And I've realized that I had Descendsion to listen to, and so I just started hardcore listening to them, and just In Plain Sight just spoke to me about all the struggles that everyone, especially me, goes through, and that's really why James and I have such a special bond. It seems almost like we are like bonded in a way. I realized that the more I got to know them, that they're just the most awesome guys, and I'm so grateful to have them in my life. And I hope that everyone can know them and love them the way that I do.
Hi, I'm Letitia Tish, James' girlfriend, and I've been with him for almost 6 years, 5.5 actually. And really, all I can say about James is that he's just an extraordinary person. He has been through so much the time period that I've known him, and has always struggled to overpower anything that's trying to bring him down. He was sick with a lot of seizures, brain disorder, and when I met him, it was very difficult at times because he got real sick, had a lot of seizures, went through a very dangerous surgery in order to overcome that, and I was there for that. Also, he does so much for the community. He's always trying to help anyone that needs help. And really all I can say is that he's just a great guy. You know, anyone who has ever doubted him doesn't really know him, because if you take the time to know him, then you'll know exactly what he's all about. He's always about helping someone, even on his most horrible day when he can't even get off the couch or out of bed because he's suffered a seizure or a severe headache. He's always taking the time out to care about someone else. So just wanted to say that, you know, don't doubt someone until you get to know them, because you're going to miss out on a lot. And people struggle every day to do their best. Hi, I'm Tish. We're doing a documentary for the video In Plain Sight, and I'm here with James Keller's father, Larry, and his stepmom, Tawny, aka Mom, we call her. So, and we're just going to talk a little bit about James and his life and what brought him here. So, James says you were both his rock when he was going through his ordeal. What were your feelings about his health and future?
Well, about being his rock, boy, this rock crumbled behind the scenes. He doesn't know that, but we both crumbled a lot behind the scenes because it's very hard to have doctors give you that type of diagnosis about one of your children. It's very hard to hear, you know, that they may have something that they may not recover from, that they may even die from. That's very, very hard to hear for any parent. And I'm sure that there's many parents out there that unfortunately have had that happen to them, luckily. And we're very thankful to God that James is still here with us today and is much better than he was back then. and we're very thankful for that.
I don't know what you want me to say.
That, whatever you want, honey.
I don't know. You just, as a parent, you have faith. You always believe that the best will happen, and you encourage to struggle and strive to keep going, and that's all I ever did.
Okay. It was at the early stages of his health declining, walking with a cane and constantly seeking help from doctors and so on. He decided to start a music career and a band. What were your feelings and expectations about that?
You always want to encourage your kids to do whatever their hearts desire. Your kids can be anything they want to be. And James, so talented. And, you know, how could you not encourage him to start a band? He's so charismatic. You know, even walking with a cane. You know, we knew he could do, he's got a lot of his dad in him. A lot of his dad in him. Some good, some bad.
Yeah.
But the one good thing he has is his dad's determination. So whatever he wanted to do, we knew he would do it 100% and with his whole heart. So if that's what he wanted, we would stand behind him 100%. Because if that's his dream, that's our dream for him. And I think that's what all parents want for their children. Just for them to be happy.
There, you want to say anything?
Yeah, I personally, at that point, I did want to encourage him. I did believe he could do it. But I also thought he was a little crazy for trying it. Being that he couldn't stand up without the cane at that point. But, again, I encouraged him to strive through it, and that's exactly what he did.
Okay. The moment that's still being talked about today is the time he brought you both on stage and presented you both with a plaque of his first album. What did that mean to you at that moment?
Wow. That was, well, of course we both stood there and cried. And couldn't say anything. You know, that plaque, that was like, that plaque meant everything to him. And that was like him thanking us for being there for him. Plus, it was his accomplishments he was handing to us. And wow, what an awesome moment. I mean, to have your kids, and I shouldn't say kids, because he's not a kid, he's a grown man, but to me he'll always be a kid. But to have him hand you his accomplishments and say thank you, wow.
Oh, that was a great night.
Yes.
Yes, it was.
Okay, the song In Plain Sight, James voiced his expression about the period in his life that mostly a lot of people around him placed doubt and judgment about his health condition. What would you say to those people that doubted him then?
Oh, and there were even family members that had some doubt about him at different times. And until they saw what we saw, until they were around him, and saw him walk from one place to the other, and in the middle of his line of walk just drop over into a seizure. One of the scariest things you will ever see. I'll never forget the time his sister called me. Scared. She called me at work and she was just so frightened because he was with her getting groceries. And he come out of the grocery store and he was right behind her. And she went to turn around to talk to him. She was pushing a buggy. She went to turn around to talk to him and he was gone. And she looks back and he's laying on the pavement in a full-blown seizure. And she calls me at work. Mom, what do I do? What do I do? Call an ambulance.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what? Just call an ambulance. You know, there's nothing. You can't do anything till he comes out of this, you know? But when you're there for the first time by yourself, I've been through several of them. And his dad had been through several of them. But the first time you're there by yourself, it's gut-wrenching. Because he's just, it's just normal. Every day you wouldn't know a thing was wrong with him, and all of a sudden he'd just go down. And you'd almost think he was dead. He'd just drop, and I don't, if you were on the cement, if he was on a hard floor, I mean, the best you could hope for is you'd see him going down and you could throw a pillow under him.
Or try to catch.
Yeah,
If you happen to be
and
close
you
enough.
you hated to try and catch him because you were afraid you might hurt something else, another part of his body, because he's not a tiny boy.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's kind of like, what do you do? And it could happen at any time, at any moment. He has been going down steps where it has happened, and he's fallen. So, you know, there again, it's just a lot of prayers and a lot of crying at night, and hoping that nothing happens to him, and that he makes it through the next day. Thank heavens he's had the surgery to help this, because his seizures are much better now since the surgery. As far as the people that say, oh, there's nothing wrong with him, well, be around him when one of these happen. But I pray another one never happens. You know,
Yeah,
I wish they were right, and he was faking it. That would be wonderful,
Yeah.
because then there would be nothing wrong with him. But unfortunately, they're not.
Good answer. The doctors will tell you that every time you have a seizure, it is possible that you will never recover. And every time he had a seizure, that's the first thing that crosses your mind.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's laying on the floor unconscious, and you don't know whether he's going to get up or not. It's not, I mean, I talked to the doctors myself. It's not like somebody else told me these stories. The doctors told me these things.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, like she said, if you've ever seen one of them, believe me, you'll believe. Because it's not something you want to see.
Well, they've got quite a fan base now. So what would you say to the Descendsion Army? What message would you send out to them?
Descension. There you go, Descension. Just love Descension Army. I'm really glad he took those steps to start this band so many years ago. It's been a long, tough years. When he was, it reminds me of his success, not only with his band, but with him. And for that, I'm very grateful.
Yeah, the measure of success is not how many times you've been down, but how many times you get back up. And that's what he tries to profess.
And we're very proud of him.
Thank you guys very much for taking the time to do this.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
Thank you.
That was an emotional story, I have to say. I want to thank you once again for joining us for this special documentary, In Plain Sight. Now, tune in, sit back, and relax while we take you on the finished product of what is now the best song that I've ever written. This is In Plain Sight. Thank you for tuning in. God bless.